I just want to give a shout out to Mike Norton at the Bristol Post. I have seen the most horrible, spiteful article in the Bristol Post. And you know when people say those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? From an editor that has been responsible for, as far as I'm concerned, for some of the most misleading and vile stories in our city and helped to fuel division, he now wants to have a go at Asher Craig and Marvin Rees, our mayor. For questioning the credentials of maybe one or two journalists in the chamber. I've read the story, mate. I think you're abusing your power, personally, if indeed you have any left. It's not fair. Marvin Rees and Asher Craig, irrespective of whether we love them or loathe them politically, don't need that kind of treatment, because all you're doing is pushing on a stereotype once again. You know you're doing it. And you know that some of your clickbait readers love it. So I think you need to stop it. Anybody that's seen that story. And now I'm encouraging people to click on their blooming story, which is what I didn't want to do. But I just needed to say it, Ivan. Sorry, mate. The thing is, I saw a reporter talking to our mayor the other day, and he just came straight on the TV and said, right, fine. Well, why should I have anything positive to say about somebody that says that people like me have watermelon smiles and describes me as, as a pickaninny, etc., etc.? And he hits back when the BBC and other people decide to frame a question about race or about whatever and stereotype. He doesn't sit there and smile like a lot of people of colour have done in the past. He hits back and says, listen, I don't like the premise of your question, actually, and he supports and he fights. And I think that's a good thing. And I think journos at the Bristol Post and other newspapers don't like the fact that politicians now fight back and look at journalists and question their motives and the way in which they report stories. Now, it may not be the journalist's fault. It might be the editor's fault, who's asking them to write particular stories. And if you're running a business and you've virtually gone out of business because no one's buying your rag anymore, then you have to go online and join up and put clickbait stories on. Then I don't blame them for trying to sell newspapers, but what I do blame them for is perpetuating stereotypes, and I don't like that. And I think look, if George Ferguson, as our mayor, was treated in the same way as Marvin Rees as our mayor, and we're looking at there's a picture that looked like a mugshot not that long ago that then the Post had to apologise for. Have they not got a short memory? Do they not know that there's a lot of apologising to do? And that's why I think the Post cannot throw stones.
Indeed. And, from my experience, when I've seen worthy stories that have been produced by journalists on the Post, they do not get included on their Facebook or their social media outlets. Those stories seem to not dominate their Facebook feeds, for example. They
that's
very
obvious,
pick
isn't
and
it?
choose as to which stories they decide to feature.
Yeah, it's obvious why they don't.
Well, it's for getting clicks, isn't it?
It will upset their core audience.
Well, there's that as well.
8:27 news is next.
Standing in a crowded room.